Hello, lovely people. We should be live. And tonight's topic, obviously, Mars goes direct. The son of a gun finally opens up. I do apologize about that. And in tonight's show, we're going to see how exactly things are going to open up for all of us. Right off the back, if you paid attention to the thumbnail, you would have saw 3 cards. Now, by all means, I'm not an astrologer. I'm just gonna show from a tarot perspective about the transit and what exactly opens up for all of us. But if you do want to have the astrology perspective, make sure to check on Pisces Moonbeam post on her own page. And I don't know if she have yet put a post on the combined page. Anyway, you're gonna get a really good information from there. Now, with that said, first 3 cards that we do have from the thumbnail are as follow. Now, the first one that will be the 3. Just let me put the statistics here. All right, so the first one that we do have that will be the 8 of Wands, followed by the second card, which stands for the Knight of Wands, and the final card that transit, this will be the Magician. It's like that. So those 3 cards is what we have. And what exactly opens up? Well, according at least to these cards, things should open up in regards to society, in regards to social interactions, and as well in regards to business. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream, mate. I hope you do have a good time. Well, everything's good. I mean, I have nothing to complain about. So what's good with you? So, opening up into a social interaction, we can see that pretty clearly within these 3 cards. Mattia, welcome to the stream. Within these 3 cards, now, first and foremost, from now on, moving forward, until another transit, depending on what the other transit is going to show up, our voice is going to be heard. So literally, things we try to make a point across, okay, or our explanations, or in generally, should we do want to kind of like present our points of view, for a lack of a better word, it will be understood, and for the most part is going to be as well heard. And there are going to be many occasions, or rather like multiple ways, so we are going to have a variety on top of that, how to do it without causing embarrassment to ourselves and also, to the people that we are talking with. Now, this from its own accord should bring up a lot of new interactions, in a sense of new people to get to know, new people to go out and have fun. Primarily that though, right? New people to go out and have fun, and also new people to learn from, as an example, or just we see that their traits, trick of the traits, it's something interesting, and we will have the chance to kind of like dive into it and start learning of it if that's something we really want to do. It's highly unlikely after this transit starts, or like this state of the planet starts, for us to make stupid things, or rather like to make stupid mistakes. We can see that from this particular elemental dignity, or if we are to make a stupid thing that is purely on us. Now, having the 8 of Wands and the Magician, it pretty much speaks that we will fully grasp and fathom, the core of the situation, having to know what it is required, and what kind of an actions are required for us to exert. Now, should we exert them or not? Entirely up to us. But the thing is that we cannot, well, we can, but not if we do want to be clean in front of ourselves. That is, we cannot make it an excuse of ignorance. I knew that that's gonna happen in this kind of stuff, nor other people will have a valid, reason to do so as well. Oh my god, it was ages ago. Ella and Rocky also. Hello, girls. Welcome to the stream. I hope you do enjoy the show. And business-wise, well, I don't have much of a things to say rather than buckle up, right? And get on into the joyride, literally, because now, as these three cards stands, all right, there are gonna be so many angles and things that we can undertake, make money from, establish as a valid career moving forward. We are going to see so much potential in almost everything that presents itself as an opportunity, and opportunities are not going to be shy at all for the next few weeks, maybe few months as well, for each single one of us. But what is important for all of us is that we kind of like stick to it. What I mean is that once we do decide to put effort into one thing or another, we should roll with it rather than withdrawing halfway through and trying anew, because it's just not going to work out that way. That's at least if those cards are to be believed. And finally, I can't say too many good things when it comes to love, at least for according to these cards. That is because the energy of them is that it's too big of a prone for a burnout. Two people meet each other, they fall for each other so much, they sleep together one, twice, thrice, and they kind of like grow bored. I mean, they consumed it already. So that's just as an advice. If it happens that you do fall for someone, they fall for you, I mean, don't go for the orgasm right away. That's an expression of a Pisces moonbeam, something very valuable that she taught me. All right, so Sean, thank you so much for your $20 US, mate. Mwah. Thank you, Sean. Mattia, for your $9.99. Mwah. Thank you, Mattia. And Rocky as well, $27.99 Canadian. Thank you so much, guys. Mwah. Mattia, what do you mean for me and Pisces moonbeam? All right, I'm gonna take a look at that, Rocky. Let me put you into the list, guys. All right, so you do not wish a reading. All right. For Sherry. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much. And Jasmine as well. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine. You guys are going to have your readings at the end of the stream, right? All right, so few notes about the show before I move forward. So Mattia, thank you so much for your another 20 US dollars. Thank you, Mattia. Uh, your reading comes as well at the end of the stream, which is going to be about that particular transit. Thank you. All right, so few notes about the show before I move forward. There are going to be 12 readings, primary readings within this live stream, one for each star sign, starting from Aries, ending up with Pisces. Do the last minute consent on my behalf to do that live stream. Is going to be a 3-card spread. Hopefully for the next transit streams, which there are going to be, I will be more prepared. Okay, Pisces Moonbeam is going to prepare me better. So Karen, thank you so much for Pisces Moonbeam. So Pisces Moonbeam, I do await your 2 questions. Okay, you do have one from Mattia and one from Karen, so you can ask 2 times. Yeah, you literally can ask 2 times. What a paradise, eh? And one for me, Karen. You're gonna marry me one day. I'm telling you that. Thank you, Karen. So 12 readings, one for each star sign, and throughout those 12 readings there are also going to be 3 free readings giveaway. So 3 of you can claim a free reading throughout our live stream. That's the only way how you can have a free reading with me. In order to do that, you can just have to wait for one of the breaks. One is going to happen after Cancer, another one after Scorpio, the final one is going to be after Pisces. Ask a question, Pisces Moonbeam is going to pick your question, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on the question picked. And of course, at the end of the stream, everybody who supported the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you guys are going to have the reading there. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should the Super Chat be 20 US dollars or above, the reading for this particular live stream is going to be the Elemental Dignity Spread, which I am about to do for each single star sign. And if you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you will see full list of my services and also their pricing. So with that said, starting up, we do have Aries. You can track which star sign I am reading about by the glyph here. Okay, so that's the Aries glyph. By the way, Pisces Moonbeam, a story. Okay, a story. You probably are gonna figure out why. I don't know why, but I have a good friend. Okay, and I don't know why exactly in her chart, but her astrologer told her that she gotta be careful because of the Mars retrograde. She literally have to survive until Mars goes direct. 2 days ago, accident happens and she broke her leg pretty bad, 3 places, terrible. So I don't know why that happens. Probably you can, I don't know, figure out the the exact, you've not the exact but possible configurations why that could happen, why a chart can show that. My point here is that these things work, and when astrologer tells you that something is is better for you to avoid, probably is better for you to avoid it. Oh, thank you, Island Girl. I haven't saw you for a very, very long time as well. Glad you are around. Well, for as far as I understood, she slid on a freaking Lego part. Okay, she slid on a freaking Lego part. There you go. Yeah. All right, so Aries, first one, we do have the Empress, followed by the Knight of Swords, and the final one, that is going to be the Three of Swords. Yeah, Mercury retrograde, it's not a great time to have a reading of all sort, that is, not just only a tarot reading, but any kind of reading, unless it's a kind of emergency. That's at least not just only my opinion, I read it in a few books, that it is not a good time to have a reading. So those three for Aries. So what will open up for you guys, it is a confidence in your own ways. Okay, and actually a plan, or rather like, yeah, it's a confidence into enacting a specific plan, moving forward into the future, a specific plan either about your career or either about your love life. It has to do more toward the career rather than the love life by the look of those cards, unless we're talking about an ex. Okay, now if that regards with someone that you already had a history with, then it's very possible that you can kind of like cross paths again. The thing about these three cards here, and it comes from those two, okay? It comes from those two. I don't know, I didn't say anything about passing. I said that if it's not an emergency, having a reading due Mercury retrograde, it's not gonna be, it's not an ideal time to have a reading on a Mercury retrograde. So in regards to those two cards, they describe now the readiness to right the wrong, or to try to right the wrong, in a sense of the trying a similar situation, which let's say didn't end it ideally from the past, okay? But now feeling confident that this time around you could get it right. And this is where the boost into confidence for Aries comes about. And I do think by the look of those cards, it is that Aries are going to do quite a big moves coming up into the next few weeks, into the next few months as well. And all of these moves are going to be very well planned, if they are not planned already. And these plans are very, very well made for what those cards are showing. Very well established, very matured. And as per the Empress goes forward, guys, you are about to reap whatever you are to sow. So it's very important that you are accountable toward yourself, the people that you do, the people that you are involved with, okay, and in generally the situations which you are moving forward with. And the best way how you can guide yourself moving forward with those three cards: comfort. if you aren't comfortable, I'm sorry, with a something, okay, you better don't do it. It's simple. It's as simple as that. Well, I guess it's something specific in a sense of that it is a person to person. I also personally have no problem doing readings due Mercury retrograde. I'm just saying what I read in a few books about what they're saying. And again, I may not have any problems with Mercury retrograde, but the person who came for a reading may have. They may misunderstand me, right, and this kind of stuff. But I never had a problem with Mercury retrograde, not once. Maybe I didn't notice it, but yeah. All right, next one, Taurus. First one for Taurus, that is going to be the Sun. Followed by the Death. And the third one is going to be the Emperor. So a couple of things right off the back with Taurus. Pisces movie said about Mars accidents, right? That Mars rules accidents. I don't know if it rules crisis, right? But according to these cards, you are about to manage one that relates to you or rather like concerns you directly. And for what those cards are showing, those three once again, all right? So the Sun, the Death, and the Emperor. So the one that concerns directly your happiness, right? So let's say that Taurus, your family makes you happy, but currently there is a crisis in there. For one or another reason, that crisis doesn't even have to address you directly. Your spouse may be going through something rough, and that is yet a crisis within the family. And now as Mars goes direct, it seems that you will fully gonna be able to manage the crisis itself, no matter where actually it stands. For you, it will be, I can't really say easy, all that the card states. It is that through a very common for you and natural actions, you will be able to, how can I put it into words? It's like make the ups and downs from it much more manageable, much more controlled, or rather like the environment of the crisis, a much more controlled. And what under normal circumstances would have pretty much fell apart, like a friendship, or like a business deal, or maybe like a relationship, this time around is not going to fall apart, and on the contrary is going to see a natural expanse and as well growth. Important thing for you to follow here is that you need to show yourself strong and also a very reliable. Now it's not going to be the time for you to get back on your word. Now there are times where you totally have to do that. Of course, if you do realize that you have been beguiled, then you are going to go back to your word, because you have been led to believe into something which is not true. But that is not one of one of these times. And being quick to action to pretty much extinguish your presence from one place or another, from one situation or another, it's not gonna serve you well, for if those cards are to be believed. Okay, So it will be best if you give one last chance to things. Friends, colleagues, spouses, romantic interests, family members, and so on. Because for what they are saying from these two, there is still in it what can be experienced, right, and what can be developed. Right, so that was Taurus. Moving next, we do have Gemini. Yeah, first one for Gemini, we do have the Tower, followed by the Six of Pentacles. And the final one is going to be the Emperor again. Hold on a second. It's happening into Gemini. Of course it's happening into Gemini. That's why we do have those cards. That's why the Tower came. Oh. Well, actually, when the whole process for this, for those cards are showing, when it's done, you are to be grateful that you underwent through it. But for now, at least, Gemini, things are gonna feel a bit out of control. So this is what I mean. In my country, we do have an expression, and it is when you do not stop yourself. Let's say the universe at the end stops you with something that you are not gonna like, whether it is stopping you with a crisis or with a plans breaking, you know, or with some kind of a, God forbid, some kind of an accident, right, or with something. And of course, when the universe does that, nobody is happy of, right? I mean, your plans got shattered away. Your perception for how the future is gonna play out thrown out of the window, right? And even in some dramatic cases, things you have built, careers, maybe friendships, on the ground, it's just are about to fall apart. It doesn't have to be that dramatic, but it could be. Now, because we do have that Emperor next to the Tower card, first of all, Six of Pentacles next to the Tower card tells us two things, right? It tells us two things. First, there isn't a thing you can do about it. I mean, it is happening whether you like it or not. But the second thing that tells us as well, it is that actually there are some shoulders on which you can lean on, not to carry you on forward, but for a support to help you stand your ground. Simple as that. And the Emperor from the other side, it's a promise that whatever crisis is to ensue, all right, because the Tower card, there is no sugar coating this one. I mean, it's a crisis, okay? So whatever crisis is to ensue, it will be very manageable from your behalf for as long as you do not freak out about it and you do not allow your emotions to run wild and to twist and tangle your perception. Now, the crisis may not be something bad, but yet it will be unpleasant. These are two different things. The crisis could be that you fall in love, but you are married right now, so That's a crisis, if you ask me. It's not something bad. I mean, falling in love should be a good thing, should be a beautiful thing. But it kind of like it's a conundrum now, isn't it? I mean, it's a predicament. If you are married and you fall in love with someone else, you may end up, you may find out that you're pregnant. That is also a crisis, especially if you haven't planned it, right? You thought, no, I have 3 children, I don't want to have any more, and suddenly, surprise, surprise, uh, you don't have the say, at least not for now. And under that energy, it will be rather quite difficult to resolve the issue, in a sense, to figure out what to do with it. Okay, what kind of a path you to take. But you eventually are going to come to the right one, and once the whole thing ends, right, it will have a nurturing, cleansing, and as well growing effect on your life. So whatever it is, it will be scary, but at the end of the day, it will benefit your life greatly. Hey Anna, yeah, it will be a rough one for Gemini. No, as soon as I saw the Tower card, I thought this is happening into Gemini. There is no freaking way somewhere else, and I was right. All right, Cancer. Hello, Artemis. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Michele. Or Michelle, which one is it? The Hierophant for you, Cancer. Followed by the Death card. And then it is the Five of Pentacles. So the Death card does have a Latin phrase, and it stands for, and excuse my Latin here, it's pronounced something like vita mutator non tolitor, which is the roundabout of things. It actually states, you know, life is not ending, it's just changing. Now, I don't know how yeah, the other one is Italian. I'm sorry about that, Michelle. So welcome to the stream. Anna, thank you so much for your $20 US. Thank you, Anna. Let me put you into the list. So for Cancer, things are gonna start walking away from your life, guys. But surprise, surprise, you ain't gonna mind it, right? You just, in fact, in some cases, it will be such a big relief from you. Once, you know, someone approaches you and tells you, look, man, we can't be friends anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's just, you know, we are so different. Our paths needs to go separate ways. And you are about to say to yourself, thank freaking God. I was about to tell you the same thing, but thank you for making it easy for me. So in the near future, for what those cards are showing here, there will be a very slowly progressive, to a point where it's not going to bother you. It's not going to create any obstructions. It's not going to make any predicament for you, but yet quite impactful, a change into thy lifestyle, into your lifestyle. And the lifestyle that is going to start changing for you, Cancer, it will become accustomed into absorbing more from life in general, getting rid of things which are either toxic or right away unnecessary whatsoever, things which doesn't benefit you anymore with anything. And those aspects could be literally anything. That's why general reading, it is a general reading, but those aspects could be, for example, a job that you can't grow anymore in it, or a relationship that you're never gonna get married, you know, or have children, and so on and so forth, or a friends which the only thing that happens with them is just gossiping and feeling bad because, you know, they're putting you into those situations, or hobbies which are leading you nowhere, like for example playing video games. I don't know, okay? But the thing it is that you are going to recognize those aspects of your life. It's not even you consciously recognizing them, it is just the lifestyle that you're going to start adopting. It's going to push them away. And once that happens, many things are going to be quite different. For one, people are going to have a much bigger trust in you. And I don't want to say that now nobody trusts you, but if people now trust you, they will be sure to trust you afterward. That is for one. You will be seen as way more reliable than currently. Also, the job that you are doing and the activities in general that you are doing should pose a much bigger interest afterwards. And actually, for a very long time moving forward, you will not gonna think about the money as a result. You are not gonna do it just for the money, you know, but actually because you believe and enjoy it also. And it's gonna be such a big reshape for what we have here, that those who does not maintain a connection with you in this particular time frame barely are going to recognize you afterwards. So if someone tells you I know you, well, wait for a few months and see how well you know me afterwards. All right, so that was for Cancer. And now one of you can have a free reading with me, guys. All that you got to do is just input a question into the comments down below to claim one. And in about 5 minutes, Pisces, if there are any questions, Pisces Moonbeam is going to pick one. If there are none, I'm just going to move on to the next 4 star signs, which are going to be a Leo, Virgo, Libra, and as well Scorpio. And if you do wish to support the channel through super chats, you can do that, and you're going to have your reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. You're welcome, Artemis. Yeah, it's going to be such a good transformation for Leo, for Cancer, I'm sorry. And the thing is that the beauty of these cards is that Cancer is not going to even have to try doing it. Okay, it will come from within. It's like, you know, what they are going to start doing differently. It just is going to be obvious for them. Is going to be what makes sense, so they will don't even have to put any efforts. I will answer that, Jasmine, but I don't know, maybe Pisces Moonbeam can do better with such an information. Because for Tarot, your personal standing, okay, for Tarot that is, your personal standing, it doesn't matter that Mars is direct in your 7th house. For Tarot that is. Well, I think, Anna, that anything is gonna be better than Gemini. And Gemini isn't bad, it's just rough, right? Because the biggest results are gonna come from Gemini at the end of the day. It's just they will have to kind of like slog to get there. Danny, my personal view on this one, if you have the means to go to school, do it, right? Because any form of business you do, it could fall apart, it could be taken away. What you learn is yours forever, and you always can do business about it, right? So to me, that is no-brainer. I don't need a tarot cards to tell you that, to tell you the answer of this question. If you have the means to get back to school, do it. Because you will regret it later. I guarantee you that. Yeah, it really depends on what is the rest of the chart, what kind of an aspects are there, I believe. Did I get a lot of pushback? What do you mean? Is like a resistance? Like what do you mean, Artemis? I don't get it. With a pushback. I went into this because I didn't have any other option available. The thing about the career was like that, you know. I lost my job due to financial crisis, and back then I was paying a rent. Okay, I didn't have my own place and all these kind of things. And in my country, the very least, the salaries were so small due to everybody is pretty much, you know, washing their hands with the financial crisis. So at the end of the day, when you go to, and you do apply for work back then, you know, because nobody's gonna place you on a leadership position at the start, and the money that they were offering barely covers up life expenses and you know, a normal accommodations, the rent, the bills, and barely provide something to eat. So at that moment I said, you know what, if the time is to make my hobby a business, now's the time. All right, I ain't gonna find a better time doing it. And so I made the move, and probably that was one of the best moves in my life that I made. I don't care about other people in my life, right? My motto is that people who are in my life should be in it because they like me for who I am. If someone doesn't like me for who I am, then they are free to walk away. I mean, I don't restrict anyone. Chandra, thank you so much for your 9.99. Thank you, Chandra. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your personalized reading for Mars Direct. Yeah, well, I would have not gonna be able to work as an engineer for a very, very long time because, you know, I like the job to a certain extent. I like the half of it, okay? But the other half of it, I despised. So I wouldn't be able to do it. It wasn't actually shortly after Pisces Moonbeam. It was maybe 2 years after, I think. All right, so Pisces Moonbeam picked Jasmine. Will my romantic life have a positive development? Let's check it out, Jasmine. And by the way, Jasmine, from the last live stream where you had the Lenormand reading, when I said, you know, that this, how can I put it into words, this romantic potential which showed up in the Lenormand reading that may not be shared, it may not be shared from your side, in a sense of someone may like you, but you don't like the person. It doesn't have to be the other way around. Don't always assume the worst, all right? And again, it may not be, but it may be. I was working, yeah, I was working back then with an English office. No. All right, Jasmine, your cards. This one, it's the first one, Eight of Pentacles. Now, guys, Eight of Pentacles, in such a line of question, especially coming at the first position, which is the atmosphere, it pretty much states that the world is ready for you, right? Jasmine, the world is ready for you. Only thing you gotta do is step into it, okay? So here I might ask you, are you making any efforts to display yourself and show that you are single? Not just only to the person you want, okay, but to the world in general. Are you doing that? Second card is the Ten of Cups. Third one is the Page of Swords. And the final one, it is the Two of Cups. So without a doubt, there will be improvement there. Okay, without a doubt, there will be improvement there. And that improvement should happen by, not at, but should happen by the end of September this year. Well, I can only tell you that you may want to go out with that person. Okay, you don't have to sleep together. Sometimes a nice dinner is a nice dinner. But I think that one is about to surprise you. So give the man a chance. Okay, give the man a chance. At the end of the day, you ain't losing anything, but at least you're gonna have a nice dinner, right? Ends when? It ends when Mars makes its next ingression, which is 25th of March. Mars enters Cancer. This is when it ends. But yeah, I think that this one is bound to surprise you. You have the Ten of Cups into the second position. And I don't want to sound insulting, but here in this channel, we say things as they are. Okay? So, Ten of Cups, it kind of speaks for overindulgence in a sense of criterias. It's almost like aiming for, you know, things which are very close to not being real. I mean, they're real, but it is like once in a lifetime that they have, no once in 10 lives that it is happening that way, okay? So it will be best to, I'm not saying that you gotta settle for something less than you want, but the point of the Ten of Cups being there is that maybe you don't have right now the full grasp on what you entirely want. And that's why this one, it is too surprising. But bottom line, it's 10 of Cups being there means that you other things than what you are imagining right now can also make you happy into one relationship. And those other things, that current potential very well can make happen. All right, so moving next, we have Leo. Yeah, because Jasmine, in my line of work, throughout my experience, people primarily aim for that sense of love, where you just basically lose your mind. I mean, you become stupid, and that's the beauty of it. What about trust, though? What about loyalty? What about reliability? Okay, people don't care about those things, and they are something which makes you happy. They, for certain, their absence makes you miserable, so their presence makes you happy. Okay, that is something that should count. And in fact, the real love in tarot, which is marked by the Hierophant, it is exactly that. You trust someone, all right, you find that person reliable, and that way they become more and more unignorable, so to speak, a part of your life. And at some point you find out that you miss that person, and that's the moment you do understand that you love them. And that is how the real love actually show up. There are the difference in between the real and the true love, it is that one has makes sense. I mean, the real love makes sense. You love that person because you trust them. They make you feel secure, right? They provide, and so on and so forth. While the true love, you just love the person. I mean, there is no explanation to it. In fact, it happens most of the time. People fall in love with jerks. They fall in love with others that basically does not respect them, and so on and so forth. And that is just it. It makes no sense to love the person, but you love them anyway. All right, Leo. The first one, it is the Ace of Pentacles for you guys, followed by the Ten of Swords, and then it is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so these are the three cards. These are the three cards. So dangerous times, but not in a sense you now may think like there is a menace looming over you. No. In fact, by the look of those cards, you have your things almost sorted out. In fact, in the verge of making a very strong breakthrough. And in the verge of losing the breakthrough itself. Why? Well, because of this. Ten of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So what those cards here speak about, it is a very uncalculated, risky, and definitive maneuvers, like decision or an action taken. How can you avoid that? Well, by not taking it. Well, then how you are gonna recognize it? Anything that does not allow you to backtrack, it's this. Okay, anything that does not allow you to backtrack, it's this. So signing a contract that you can't pull off after, right? Saying I'm leaving you without knowing that you can return back, right? Saying I quit my job, I am to quit my job without having another job at that point, meaning you cannot return working tomorrow. All of these has to be avoided. Your future according to these cards, the wellness of your future according to these cards depends on a continuance, for a lack of a better word, a sequence, okay? And if you do follow that, meaning not taking any kind of like ultimative, for a lack of better word, actions or a decision making, then somewhere along that particular period of time up until the 25th of March, you're gonna have that rare opportunity to basically further your goal, whether your goal is within your love life or within your career. Basically, the Ace of Pentacles promises wealth. Right now, what is wealth for you? Is wealth a family, or is it money? All right, is it a career, or is it health? Only you can answer that. But Ace of Pentacles promises wealth, which is gonna happen through a very carefully forged, whether a preparation or a plan, described with these two cards. Okay, so that is something you actually worked for a very long time. You do not take it, you do not decide in favor of it with a snap of your fingers overnight. That is something you had it fixed again for quite a while now, and finally becomes possible. What can you expect to come out of it? Well, if it relates to your career, we're talking about a very lucrative and money gaining business maneuvers. And relationship wise, it speaks about a restoring or achieving a harmony into that relationship, meaning your relationship. So don't take the bait. That's my point here. Just don't take the bait, and you will be fine. Right, so next one, not Leo, Virgo. First one for Virgo, that will be the Six of Cups, followed by the second card, which stands for the Seven of Cups. And the third card for Virgo, that will be the Devil. Very easy, very light transit for Virgo, right? For at least according to these cards. First and foremost, what do they speak about? Pleasures. Things which makes you feel pleased and makes you experience a sensual joy, whether that's, say, sex, whether that's partying, whether that's spending time alone, whatever the case. It will become more and more, the occasions for it will become more and more abundant within the next couple of months for you, Virgo. And on top of the abundance of those occasions will become more accustomed to you as well. In other words, they will play out almost, if not exactly, the way you expect and want them to play out. So in other words, aside from work, and even in work that is, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So aside from responsibilities, you should have an amazing time. You should really have a pleasant experience within your spare time and time spent with friends, especially with friends and also people you love. Now about job, for the majority of that period of time, the majority of the tasks that you are to deal with should be tasks which you're genuinely gonna enjoy deal with. They will allow you to express yourself creatively. They're gonna give you room to have it your way, and so on and so forth. And for those of you guys who are single, Mars direct, actually, it's very possible to bring you a person that you both, not just only you them, but them you as well, you both are gonna like each other physically and also emotionally. So we have a say here. It is that things doesn't work out in between two people because one of them is stupid. All right, so if things doesn't work out in between you two, then obviously that's the case. I wouldn't say stupid, but more like a stubborn, doesn't want to make a compromise. It doesn't want that relationship to benefit both, but rather only themselves. And I don't have a feeling that that's gonna be you, because with those cards, it will be like you are gonna be able to bend your circumstances that suits you best. So you will have no problem how things stand. The problem may be in the other. Thank you, Michelle, for your 1111 US dollars. Thank you. Make sure you stay by the end, where you're gonna have an answer to your question. Now to this question, I cannot say for certain. The best I can do, Michelle, is to tell you, do they intend to do so? Okay, I cannot say for certain because apart from intent, they have to consciously decide to do it. And as we all know, tarot cards cannot make choices for others. It's just wrong to make choices for others. So the best I can do is to tell you their intent. Do they intend to come into your future for some reason? Okay, or to find a way to figure out the reason to appear in your future. All right, so that was for Virgo. Now moving on, next we do have Libra. A second, guys. I can't believe that I'm reading that question from you, Pisces Moonbeam. So you have one more, because you have two super chats, one from Mattia and one from Karen. I also have two, so. All right, Libra. First one, it is the 10 of Swords for Libra. So what we look is fire, right? That is the redeeming factor, or earth. Fire or earth. Having water or air, it's another air sign. So we do have the 6 of Swords and a fire, right? We do have a fire now. 9 of Swords. 9 of Wands, I'm sorry. So those three for Libra. You're not gonna have the easiest time. I don't wanna say the other way around. You will feel very, as Mars goes direct, I don't know how things were working out by now. The only thing that I can make sense why that could happen, it is because you have to catch up due difficulties you had by that point, and now as you may not have those difficulties anymore, You will feel the need that you gotta catch up, whether with work, whether with friends, whether with something, okay? And having the time frame in which you have to catch up, it will feel very small, right? It will feel tiny, petite even, and it's just you will how can I put it into words? You're gonna start looking for shortcuts, and we can see clearly that here with those two cards, okay? So don't be surprised if in the next few days, a month, up until 25th of March, you are willing to make moves that by this point you were not even considering. And why it's a rough time? Well, it is because most likely those moves are going to work out for you, and you will grow accustomed to them. You see where I'm going? It's no different than, you never gambled, and you go and have your first night in a casino or a table of a poker, and you score a big win. And most people take that as granted, in a sense of that they can do it again. They can do it again. They can win every night, and before you know it, that becomes your life. And eventually, even if you do win, most of the time, eventually it's going to happen that, you're going to lose everything. So that is actually the rough time for you. It's not going to feel rough, but it will be rough. And in order to avoid that, actually, this is where the saving grace of your reading, Libra, comes. That nine of wands in this reading. And the Nine of Wands kind of like counteracts the Six of Swords, which is the Six of Swords are those risky moves you never done before. Like again with the gambling thing, if you are falling behind on payments for your mortgage or for rent, that could be a way to figure out that could be where you figure out a way to catch up with money, but it is not the best way. Okay. The better way it is, and it may not work out right away. That may not work out at all. So Nine of Wands, that is when within the framework of your already current situations, you can rearrange stuff, like rearrange expenses, okay, like rearrange accommodations, like rearrange schedule, rearrange responsibility, rearrange stuff that you actually have control over. And that way you are actually going to be able to set your environment, for a lack of a better word, in such a way that you will be able to catch up, but not with a risky moves, which the Six of Swords and the Ten of Swords actually suggests. So you got to be very careful how you act and what kind of choices you make, because you may get addicted to them, okay, and they may not be the most gainful ones. So be mindful. Yeah, exactly, Sean, exactly fits into that. You feel like you are running out of time to make those potentially life-changing decisions, and suddenly you are start overlooking stuff, so you can make the decision faster, you can make the decision more efficient, right? And that's not the way you do it. Even you sway that decision in a direction you never thought to consider before, because it was ludicrous before, but now as you strive to cut corners, it becomes more and more acceptable, not feasible, not efficient, not applicable, but acceptable for you, that is. Well, that fits with the Nine of Wands version of the follow-up. That is something you can control. All right, you can cut off these expenses, but you can resume them after. While with the Six of Swords, it's like a threshold. You cross it, there is no going back. Right? That's why I gave an example with gambling. You gamble, you lose the money, there is no going back from it. I mean, you are without those money, you can't restore them. So what people does, the most stupid thing, they go and gamble again and again and again, and they lose more and more. So yeah. Anyway, Scorpio next. But blonde isn't your natural hair, is it, Pisces Moonbeam? We do have the Hangman, followed by the Hermit. Hello, Estrella. And it is the Four of Swords. Just. Well, I don't have much to tell you guys. Really, I can stay here and kind of like, talk shenanigans. But basically, the say of those cards, it is that's basically the right things are about to happen to us, and all that we gotta do is just wait. That's all. And this is stated by those two, right? By those two, the Hangman and the Hermit, being in such a position, and the Four of Swords being on the next side, on the other side of the Hangman, right? It kind of states that there is nothing to think about. I mean, there is, but it will be like a done deal, and there will be no point overthinking the situation. No different than suddenly, someone shows up and tells you that, they had you in mind for a very long time, and they wanted you from the moment they saw you, and you're kind of like, why? Who gives a shit? Right? I mean, the whole point is that this person lays their heart in your feet. Why? It's such an inappropriate question. And that could be about a business as well. I mean, the right client comes, or the right idea comes. It literally could be everything. But the point of these cards for Scorpio is that with Mars going direct, our wait for good things to happen, something to make our life worth more, and not just only worth more, but again, substantial and important and essential, it's here within the next couple of months. Yeah, well, shown with the Nine of Wands, it's like slow down and see what you can reconfigure that you have full control on, that depends entirely on you, so you can fit things in rather than making sacrifices, right? And rather than, how can I put it into words, rather than shooting in the dark. But most resides on what you can reconfigure in your life, so you can make it more comfortable, right, for you, more bearable, and as well more open for anything new. All right, so one of you can have now a free reading with me, guys. Input a question into the comments down below that you wish me to read for with tarot cards. Pisces Moonbeam is going to pick one question in about 5 minutes. And if there are any questions, if not, I'm just going to move on to the next four star signs, which are going to be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and after that Pisces. Then the last free reading is going to take place, and afterwards the super chat readings. Anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to have a reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be the elemental dignity reading that I am doing for the star signs. Well, I don't know how to respond to that, Sean. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I mean, you decide to open up and suddenly you are a weakling. It's a very familiar feeling, by the way. Very familiar feeling. Well, my advice to you, and that is just an advice, I don't draw tarot cards for that, Sean, is do things in a way that makes you sleep well. I mean, if you cannot sleep over a feeling you have, you should definitely express it. Okay, you should definitely show or say how you feel. Compassion, yes. Vulnerability, I don't think so. That's because at the end of the day, guys, we are people. And as much as we do not want to admit it, our instinct for survival, it's very strong. And what does your instinct for survival tells you? Someone is weak, you use it. So being weak, vulnerable in other words, it's not a good thing, because even with the best intentions, the other side, whether business or whether love or whether friendship, is going to use that. Even if they don't want to use it, they are going to use it. If you have a weakness towards someone, for example, you know, they tell you that they love you and suddenly you do melt away, right? Whenever they screw up with something, that is how they bail out. They tell you, yeah, but I love you so much. And suddenly everything goes away. And it's still exploiting a weakness. That is just what we do, and it's an instinct. It's not something bad, it's just how we function. Children does it the best. No, it's not about you, it's in general. Yeah, I know that you didn't. That is just in general my thoughts on that situation, because Sean, you're not the only one facing it. For as far as I know, I face that situation every time when I deal with a woman. And you can express your emotions. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you, for as long as you do not allow, those emotions to dictate your actions, then you're not weak, you're not vulnerable. Well, we do have one question, I believe. Actually, two questions. No, it's one. And that is Estrella. Oh, it work a long distance, I believe, relationship. Yeah, you get the point there. You have a point there. Those are your cards. So, Estrella, what do you mean work out? What is working out for you from that long distance relationship? Oh, so that's no. No, that's totally not the case. Estrella, that's totally not the case. Now, according to these cards, that man is a callous person. It's just callous. So no, it is because it's a long distance. It is because he doesn't feel anything. Now, the best you could hope for is to stay as it is. That is what those cards literally are showing. Okay, I didn't knew. I kind of suspected with that King of Swords. And I was about to tell you that if he tells you that he loves you, he's lying. But those cards are showing here that it is what it is. I mean, there is no moving neither forward nor backwards unless you decide to move backwards. But forward, not so much. I'm sorry for the bad news. I could suggest you to kind of like try to open up for someone else, which is more open for you as well. But no, with those cards, I do not see it moving anywhere. For a couple of minutes, and then the next 4 star signs, which are Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and afterwards Pisces. Sorry for the bad news, girl. Sean, it is not. Okay, it is not, because it is better to know how things stand right from the get-go rather than waste your time. Okay, because if someone bullshit you around, you know, that they like, things may work out, you know, in the future, but right now they're how do they call it, not ready. What do you mean you're not ready? I'm not sending you with a rocket on Mars, right? I mean, it's whether you like me or you don't like me. It's so freaking simple. At least in my book it's simple. And if, you know, I smell even the slightest reek of bullshit, I'm just pulling away. Yeah, I mean, when I hear I'm not ready, I'm just rolling my eyes. What do you mean you're not ready? Oh, yeah. I That's the real reason, Sean. Exactly, that's the real reason. But it's just they're not presenting it that way. And in some way, kind of like, I take it as a these people were insulting my intelligence. Okay, especially when they told you, well, you know, I had say a really bad relationship with Jake, for example. No offense to anyone who is called Jake. Do I look like Jake? I mean, do I have anything to do with that? But I don't even know the guy. What do you mean? Why you have to even bring this thing up? It's so blows my mind. I mean, and even if you do need time alone for whatever reason, why are you even talking to me? I, just sometimes, you know, people's actions doesn't make sense. It's like they want it, in the same time they don't want it. So which is it? Because you definitely cannot have it both ways. I mean, you can, but it's not fair, is it? I played that game once, never again. Never again. Yeah. Yeah, Pisces Moonbeam, I get that. But again, why do they even talk with the other guy or with the other woman if that's the case? Right? It's to me, that's toying with that person's intentions, trust. What was the word? Attention. Right, Sagittarius. Page of Cups. It's the first one for Aries. For Sagittarius. I'm sorry. Page of Cups. Afterwards, we do have Three of Pentacles. So you are about to do a bunch of friends, guys, especially at work, for people that you do work with. And then it is the High Priestess. And also very possible to kind of like fall in love, form a stronger bond if you are already in love. Yeah, but that is, I do understand that, but that is not fair for the other person. That was my point. For example, if let's say Pisces Moonbeam, you are the one, or let's say I am the one who is healing, right? I went through a really fucked up relationship, and I am broken-hearted and really hurt and whatnot. And I start talking with you, right? And you happen to be really interested in me, and you wanna try it out. And I start bullshitting you around. Yeah, I like you, but you know what? I am still not ready because I have a trust issue. This is the moment I'm start rolling my eyes over. Okay, that is when I was kind of like, oh, again, you know. But anyway, that's not fair for you, is it? Because from one side, you know that I have interest for you, you have interest in me, and yet you cannot have me. And yet you can't have another one because you don't want another one, right? So it's kind of like it's not fair. That's my point. And I don't want to do that to anyone. I believe everyone had that thing done to them at least once in their lives. You know, I had it done to me once in my life. Never again. Never again. So, yeah, those three cards back to Sagittarius. Like I said, guys, because of these two, bunch of friends. Even you may find yourself being surprised that individuals which you didn't get along very well, in fact, individuals that yeah, and what do we said about wasting time? The worst thing that can happen to you. There is no catching up with that. You waste your time, it's done. You don't get it back. Anyway, so again, people which you didn't get along very well with, in fact, maybe also people that you both resented each other. But the winds of change are blowing for you, Sagittarius, and now there will be a common ground, something to unite you. And from what was kind of like a messed up interaction, I can't really say that things escalated to a point where, you know, you had a brawl or anything. But you definitely were preferring to be in a separate companies up until this point. Now things are different. In fact, you are going to start seeing a lot of support into each other, and that is very possible also to happen within family. You know, some kind of a resentful situation with a family member, and you don't want to see each other. It's kind of like on holidays. Before you decide should you go to your family on a holiday, you ask kind of like, is my cousin gonna be there, right? Because if it is, I kind of like don't want to cross path with that guy or that girl. But now things are, like I said, different. You will see a bunch of support that you can give to each other, a lot of fruitful cooperations, a lot of fruitful discussions as well. That's from one side. It may not happen just only within your family, also at work. You know, suddenly you may realize that you do have a lot in common with a coworker and a lot to work with together, for benefit of all, not just only his or hers, but yours as well. And the other elemental dignity though is much more interesting, which is this one. Okay, this one. That is one of the purest versions of love that there is. Okay, in tarot. It's like represents the stronger one is as if the high priestess was on the first place, because then the sensual experience would have been the one that leads. Like, you know, you see someone, and suddenly you kind of have the impression that you do understand that person. Not just only that you do understand them, but also it's like you are living in them, right? While this time around, that's not going to be the leading sense. The leading sense is going to be an emotional connection. It's like you will feel like you are connected, which is different. and from there the sense for each other is going to start developing. That is a very slow process, and that is exactly what makes things to be screwed up in the future, because it develops very slowly. You may be friends for years before it actually develops into something more. It could be weeks as well, right? But in generally, it develops rather very, very slowly, mostly through a personal contemplation. It is like you cannot take that person off your mind. You really miss them, even though you don't know each other very well. And slowly but steadily, kind of like you do realize that, you know, you don't want to live without them. And that will be reciprocal. So, yeah, I mean, the love of your life may be coming. Not for every single one of you, because that's a general reading, but there is a very, very big chance that is happening for you as Mars goes direct, Sagittarius. All right, next one, Capricorn. Oh, by the way, your job is likely to go very well as well within the next couple of months. If nothing else, there will be no downhills. Knight of Wands for Capricorn. Afterwards, it is the Lovers. And the final one, that's going to be Judgment. I don't even know how to explain it. Very close to the Scorpio reading, but for different reasons with the Capricorn. So for Capricorn, literally the next couple of months are going to be very decisive, or deciding. I believe deciding should be the words that I'm using. I should use. So, first of all, guys, it will be an illusion that you are making a choice. Which in your case is going to be a good thing, because whatever you decide moving forward with, it's simply going to be aligned with your nature. What I mean is that next couple of months are going to be very harmonious for you, right? Simply, you are going to like almost everything that you are going to go through and that you are going to experience as well. And they are going to be a fair share of things, not just only one or two, but it's kind of like life is going to be very enterprising. I don't know how to put it into words. And every single one of those enterprises, I'm sorry, I'm recovering from flu still. Every single one of these enterprises has its meaning. It's gonna has its place. None of it is gonna be meaningless thing that you just, you play around with it and then throw away and have no impact whatsoever on your future. Every single one of these things are gonna have a huge impact on your future, and for what those cards are showing, is gonna be a good impact. Right? It's gonna be a pleasant and harmonious, for a lack of better word, impact. Suffice to say the least that you can expect, it is your concerns and worries to be resolved, most of them on their own accord, for a fair share of reason that they are simply now irrelevant whatsoever. No different than if you owe money to someone big time, that person either gets jailed or say passes away and has no lineage, so you owe money to no one anymore. That is just for example, okay? But they simply, your concerns most of them are going to become irrelevant. The others, they will be resolved by you making those choices, illusions of choices, but still, nonetheless, you are going to make them. And why is illusion of choice, you may ask? Well, it is because when you are making choice, right, you are sacrificing one thing for another, but it is really a sacrifice when you genuinely want both things, and you know, give away the one that you want for the other. Well, for you, this is not how the situation is gonna stand, because you will understand that you can't have everything, and therefore willingly you will omit the one that you want less, so you ain't gonna want it anymore, and there is no really a choice to be made anymore, right? I mean, the direction forward, it is pretty clear, and it's going to be pretty clear from the start. I mean, the most obvious choice is going to be miles better than any other option available that stands in front of you. And one last thing before I move forward to Aquarius, should your situation involve help, like you giving a helping hand, or you are receiving a help, especially if you are the one who is giving help, you have to, if you do decide to give help someone, you gotta make sure, or you gotta be certain that you can see the whole thing through, right? This is not a one-time help. It's going to be continuous one, even if it doesn't look like it, up until the very end of the endeavor. So make sure that you do have the resources, the nerves, and, you know, also the patience to see it through up until the end. And finally, about love and romance, only the right ones will endure. Okay, only the right ones will endure within the next couple of months, and the right ones are not gonna make sense to you at all. Just say. Okay, so moving next, we do have Aquarius. First one, the Four of Swords, followed by the Three of Swords, and it is the Two of Cups. Give me a moment. Okay, so for Aquarius, this is going to be a huge wake up period within the next couple of months. Now, at the start of the stream, I said that things are about to open up. So what is going to open up for you guys? Well, the reasons why are gonna open up for you, or rather, like, the reasons why things are not working out when it comes to unity, relationships, partnerships. And aside from that, this is what is gonna open up. Also, we as Aquarius, because I am Aquarius rising, we're gonna have the chance to talk about it, and to, I don't know if the chance is gonna be that big to reach a common ground, okay, with what we currently possess as interactions, but the very least is going to be an open up to understand how, if we do want to make it work in the future, what is gonna take for us to do so. Most of it we ain't gonna like. Well, it's pretty clear from the Three of Swords here. It's just for example, if up until this point our love life isn't working out, our last or latest, so to speak, a romantic interest most likely is gonna say it in our face, what a retards we are and why. In fact, I had been said that recently. And it was very sobering, by the way. Nonetheless, what a retard we are and why. And whether we like it or not, it's going to be the truth. And the sooner we kind of like digest it rather than regurgitate it, the better. And from there on, we can apply it and move forward, forge really good interactions moving forward. And I'm not saying just only about love, it could be about anything, because you know, you can be Aquarius, you can have a really nice love life and a fantastic partner, but you may lack friends, or you may lack a really healthy business relationships with people, like with colleagues or with clients, and so on and so forth. And for those relationships which you are putting efforts into, those type of relationships which you are putting efforts into, but they are still not working out satisfiably well, okay, that is where we are to be kind of like delivered that message, the unpleasant message. Why actually whenever we do make a step forward, we do make a step of progress, we have to backtrack a couple of steps, because there was something wrong. And believe it or not, in the future, we're going to have another chance actually to apply what we learned at that point. This is why it's going to be an important transit, whether it's going to be a pleasant or not for Aquarius. Because aside from other star signs, you know, that everything is going to be gifted to them without them even knowing why. Excluding Cancer, you know, they're going to have a really rough time. But the other ones, they were good. They had a good readings, and Libra as well. Libra also are kind of like skating on a thin ice. For us, Aquarius, we at least are gonna know why. Okay, we're gonna know the core of the issue, how to fix it. Now, whether we are gonna fix it or not, that depends entirely on us. And on a more how can I put it into words, tangible scale, next 2.5 months, there are going to be a serious deliberation from our behalf. In fact, it could also relate to a professional deliberation with professional people, in a sense of, like, for example, if we do have a money issue that will yeah, they are getting hammered, in fact. So if we do have a money issue, then these cards suggest that we are going to consult with our banker, you know, financial advisor, accountant, and so on and so forth, to find a solution to those money issue. Love issues, for example, therapists, etc., etc. Anxiety issue, again, a psychiatrist, and so on and so forth. And if we do strive for a professional help, that goes without saying in any cases, but here for Aquarius, with the a stronger implementation, we will find a really nice solution for them. No, no, you ain't wasting your time, are ya? Did you call the golden wish, the golden fish that makes a wish recently, Pisces Moonbeam? Because if you caught it, send it via DHL or UPS, because that's the only services which are going to guarantee, you know, the things are gonna reach me here. Anna knows that. Our postal services, terrible, guys. Nothing ever comes around. Well, yeah, I have a wish or two myself. For Pisces, a 3 of Wands. Afterwards is going to be the 9 of Swords. And the final one, that will be the Magician. Really good one for Pisces. First of all, guys, now as Mercury goes direct, your anxiety or things which are made you anxious, for example, you know, you do made some business deals and you are now I can say afraid, are they gonna go through, are they gonna pay off, and these kind of things. Your anxiety or the sources of your anxiety are going to reassure you that at the end of the day there is nothing for you to be afraid of. Everything is as smooth as, I don't know, as a metal, right? Everything is as smooth as metal. In fact, so smooth that you are likely to find yourself on well-established patterns, very solid foundations, and even you are about to start thinking of something bigger. Okay, something bigger in terms of a family development or a business development. And according to these cards, if they are to be believed, you should go for something bigger, because you do have not just only the balls for it, but also the skill for it. Even if you may not know it now, you do have the skill for it, or the beauty for it, okay, or the knowledge for it, whatever the case. But I think, Pisces, that as Mercury goes direct, for you what opens up, guys, it's the bar. I basically, if that's the bar who held you beneath it and you just couldn't push through, now the bars open up and you have the sky above you, and that's the limit. So you decide what your limit is. I can only advise you to aim high as you see yourself fit. All right, so now one of you can have the last free reading for himself. In order to do that, you just have to input a question into the comments down below that you wish me to read for with my tarot cards. After that free reading, the super chat readings are going to take place. So anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to have your readings at the end. That's pretty much guaranteed. Should your super chat be $20 US or above, the reading is going to be that very same elemental dignity reading which I did for the star signs. And if you don't have any inquiry with your super chats, the reading will be about Mars direct, I'm sorry, how it's going to affect you personally. I gotta cut that hair, I think, next week. Yeah, the tiger eye bracelet, it actually it peels my hair away, and it's kind of painful. Otherwise, it's right there. Right over here. There it is. Right. When I put it on, it peels my hair away, and it's rather painful. So I keep it close to me, but I don't wear it on my wrist. Would I ever get a cut short? I look ridiculous. Why do you want me to do that to myself? I mean, if you do want to laugh at me, I will, right? But I look ridiculous with short hair, or at least that's what I think. I don't like myself, and no matter what anyone tells me, if I don't like myself, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice. Very well made, you know. I mean, there is no gap in between the balls, in between the stones, which you usually gonna see when they're very how can I put it into words? Not cheaply made, but kind of like sloppy made. I mean, you're gonna see gaps in between the balls and all these kind of stuff. It's very well made. I mean, if you do want a stone bracelet, Pisces Moonbeam, it's your woman. Yeah, I do keep it close in my wallet, and when I get home, I put it on the table. And but I don't wear it on my wrist because it's kind of painful. Let me put it back. Like one side short, the other one long. Is that what you mean? Because that's something I just don't understand. I mean, I can't fathom. I know that there are some kind of a that kind of a haircuts, but I'm not gonna do that to myself. Definitely won't. I like myself as I am. I just, it needs to be a little bit shorter, like, I don't know, a little bit shorter, like a couple of fingers shorter than it is right now. That will suffice. Oh no, it's true. I mean, I have seen some bracelets and kind of like, I wouldn't wear them because they don't look well made. It's just this one I would, and I wore it for a couple of days, but it's really painful, and that's why I took it off. But I carry it with me. Yeah, in my wallets throughout the summer, and in the winter I just keep it in my pocket. Yeah, I think so as well, Jasmine. Thank you so much. All right, one question we do have, Danny. Is there a friendship potential with the Libra that used to be in my life? Well, I don't know, Anna. Here, men's haircut, it's cheaper than women's haircut. But when I go for a haircut, they're charging me like women's haircut because it's a long hair, right? Without a doubt, Pisces Moonbeam. I mean, you can see that in the bracelet itself, the quality that it is made, and uh, it's just, when you see a good product, you know it's a good product, and I can't say any different for that. for the bracelet that you sent me. Danny, those are your cards. Okay. Those three. There is, but there shouldn't be any favors in between you two. Okay. Or any gifts for that matter, or anything that binds, because the entitlement is going to be a bigger than actually it should be for a friends. And very quickly that line of a friendship is going to be crossed, and then it's going to be friendship no more, and you both may end up hurt. But there is, yeah, there is a potential there. All right. Super chat now. I go first because I do have two Lenormand draws to make for myself. So let's have a look. All right, so the first draw, that one. It seems that completely in the spirit of Mars going direct, it seems that my socially deprived life is gonna end, right? So it does look like that I'm gonna start accumulating friends or people to talk to. And the second draw, is I am going to travel, of all things. Now you know how much I hate traveling. It's just that's one thing that I really not looking forward to. But it does look like that I'm going to travel, and for what those cards are saying, it will be in regards to a topic I am currently talking about. I actually know what these cards are referring to. So actually the traveling is going to happen. Interesting. Thank you, Danny. Thank you for your 19.99 US dollars. Thank you. You're going to have your reading very soon for the transit. Right. All right. So now let's get on with Pisces Moonbeam's questions. What do you mean? Like going there? I don't want to go to United States. Like I said, I hate traveling. If it is for just a haircut, no thank you. Okay. All right, your first question then. Oh, thank you, Angela. I love my hair too. I mean, I know it sounds narcissistic, but it is just about what it is. It's gonna go great, better than you think. I gotta be careful with this one. It's like a drug, all right? You may not gonna have enough of it. Just saying. Now for the second one, just so you know, that is just the start, okay? You should not take this one like it's going to be for a lifetime. We have the Page of Wands. Exciting is the word, right? This is how it's going to be. It's going to be very exciting, a lot of exploring of possibilities, and a lot of you know, it's kind of like uncovering yourself and being open for literally, you know, all the new things that this could present to you. Now, is it going to be like that for the rest of your life? I don't know. But at least the start is going to be very exciting. That is, for a lack of a better word. All right, Chandra, what does Mars direct is gonna bring you? Big thing. Those two cards for you, Chandra. Judgment with the Two of Swords. Not much to be said aside from that. Something like the Scorpio reading, you know, but unlike Scorpio, where it was a very passive one, okay. For you, the reading is very active one, in a sense of that things are going to be rather dynamic. However, you are not going to be dynamic. It's kind of difficult to explain, but bottom line, Chandra, it is that for the next couple of months, the right options available are going to uncover themselves for you. And I do apologize for the expression here, but taking them is gonna be a no-brainer. It's not gonna make any sense not to take them, because it's just gonna be the right one for you. I mean, you are gonna know it right there and right then. And this is going to happen into those kind of fields which right now you don't have a good move, or rather, like, you don't have an ideal move. I mean, you may have a good moves, but they all comes on a certain expense, they all comes on a certain compromise, and which you're waiting long enough, you know, the one that does not require compromise, does not require any expense, and that is going to work out for you, is going to become pretty much obvious. Big wake-up calls in a few fields of your life that are to come, and definitely they are going to tip the scales in your favor, if that counts for something. And if right now you do feel your life like, you know, being quiet, and the word is not exactly like stalled, but like being quiet, you know, nothing much is happening out there rather than the ordinary stuff, is about to take off a big time for you, Chandra. And all of it is going to be meaningful. Okay, all of it is going to be meaningful. Is my Leo past lover going to be in my future love life? I am a Pisces. Michelle Rutzen. So like I told you, Michelle, I can only tell you their intentions, okay? So those are the two cards. Six of Cups with Queen of Pentacles. So back to Chandra for a second. So Chandra, whenever an opportunity arises in the next couple of months that you simply cannot find a reason to say it's gonna be a bad thing, right? It's advisable for you to take it. That is literally your cue. So if it is way too good to be true, that's not true. I mean, it is a good thing and it is a true thing. Whose husband? I don't have a husband. Michelle, his intentions. These cards doesn't really show intentions. Well, they do, but so basically what they show, it is that this Leo that you are inquiring for has the impression, he thinks that you can work out, okay, that there are still potential in between you two. Therefore, his intentions may be to poke around at some point here, especially with that Six of Cups being there, right? But it will be very important that you don't bring up things from the past when that happened. That will be very important, because Six of Cups does not thrive when it is overburdened with a past tenses, like oh, you did that back in the days and that's why things didn't work out. No, that's not how things works with Six of Cups. With Six of Cups, everything needs to be carefree. It's like you're just starting, you never knew each other before, and all this kind of stuff. And also, things can only work out if everything else with your lives, it's pretty much sorted out. Okay, with the job, with the living situation, with the friendship circles and all that. Otherwise, they will interfere and it will be very difficult. All right. Next, Sean and Sherry. First for Sean, then for Sherry. Actually, Sean, you will be second reading. I just want to answer Rocky FX because it's a really fast question. Because Rocky is looking for work and she's asking when. I believe I answered that once. So Taro already told you for one job. And now as you are inquiring again, as far as Taro is concerned, they already answered you once, okay, for one job. So they will try to pick another one. That's why there will be a discrepancies now, all right? Have a great one, Michelle. All right. The time frame actually it's by the end till the end of the year. The biggest chances for you are in February and in July, right? The best chances, according to the tarot, for you, Rocky, July, where the job is going to be really meaningful. And yet, those are the four cards for it. So we do have the Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. So what they say is that even this job is going to be a temporary thing, like a stepping stone for you to find a better one. Although this one is going to pay, all right, is going to provide. By the look of those cards, I think that you will severely dislike it. Even maybe you will resent it. Maybe not the job itself, but the company, the atmosphere, your colleagues. It's going to become very clear to you very soon that you are not going to be there for long. And maybe a month or two into the job, you're going to start looking for another one, which you will find. So to me, it looks like that you just have to start working something, okay? And things are going to take off for you from there. All right, next, Sean. Okay, first one for you, Sean, Three of Wands. With Justice. Is that looking for group? That is a gamer's abbreviature, looking for group. The third one, it is the Strength. So on a tangible scale for you, Sean, with those three cards, you'll be exceptionally good into managing your time, right? Into managing your responsibilities, managing your schedule, very efficient. My point is that you are going to be very, very efficient with everything for the next couple of months. The other thing that Mars Direct opens up for you is decision making. Okay, and you made here a point earlier that you find it difficult to decide. I don't know if that's gonna make it easy for you, right? But basically, when Mars goes direct, is gonna open up for you the sense of accountability, not just only for the matter at hand, but also for the people involved. That counts you included. Okay, so whenever within the next couple of months you do reach a conclusion, it's gonna be fair, and therefore is gonna work for all of you. No matter are you 2, 4, 10, or 20 people concerned by it. And the other thing of those cards, it is that actually two more things. One is that you will have a lot of enthusiasm. So don't be surprised if you kind of like have some targets, okay? Like you are to bestow upon you targets which are higher than the targets you had by that point. And it's very likely that you are going to meet ends with those targets at the end of those a couple 2.5 months up until the 25th of March 2023. And also shown your composure is going to be indomitable. In fact, no matter what happens, it's highly unlikely that you are to lose it within the next 2.5 months, especially when everything is to be riding on it. Okay, So very efficient mates, very well, very calculative moves, which is what you're gonna do, and you will get what you deserve. That's all that I can say here from those moves and from those decisions. All right, next, Sherry. The Wheel of Fortune for you, Sherry, first one. The second card is going to be the Empress, I'm sorry. And the third one, we have the Knights of Wands. So Sherry, on the responsibility scale, okay, things are gonna loosen up a bit for you. So you're not going to feel the ordinary pressure. I don't know what you're working or how your life is set up, but for example, if you are feeling pressure from work, that pressure is going to ease up. If you are feeling pressure from, your family, that pressure is going to ease up. It's just the pressure of expectations, a pressure of kind of like results and these kind of stuff. Definitely is going to ease up, and that will allow you to kind of like have a more quality time with things you like and to enjoy. And that is what Mars direct is going to open up for you. Bunch of a good time, bunch of interesting aspects, bunch of enterprising events in front of you, enterprising experiences, that is, which you have the choice to decide, yes, I want to be a part of it, and no, I don't want to be a part of it. Primarily, they will concern you personally, and you will have the choice to say, yes, I'm going to share that with you. No, I do want to experience that for myself. Another information that those cards carry could be that you may end up in a situation that will happen to be how can I put it into words, a predisposition for a major change in your life. In fact, once in a lifetime change that is going to happen for you, and at least for you is going to be a positive one. Now, I cannot say for the others involved, but for you, definitely is going to be a positive one. And again, you get to decide: do you want to take it, or do you don't want to take it? One condition, the only condition for you, is if you do take an opportunity, whether it is that once in a lifetime change, or you do decide to indulge yourself with pleasures, and with things that you are pleased to be a part of, don't do a half-done job, all right? Don't get a half-done job. See it through, because that is the only way how you will have the energy, according to these cards, to jump into the next thing once that is over. All right, next we do have Jasmine. You're welcome, Sherry. All right, Jasmine, first card for you, it is the King of Cups. Then it is Temperance. And the last one, that will be the Ace of Pentacles. Jasmine, this is going to be a transit that is going to open up for you the proposals. So throughout these next 2.5 months, you are going to have all kinds of propositions, right? I cannot say specifically what they are going to be. They could be romantic propositions. business proposals, you know, deals and all these kind of stuff. But what they're gonna have in common, Jasmine, it is that they all are gonna kind of like surprise. I don't want to say flabbergast you, because some of them definitely are going to, not with how ridiculous they sound, but basically the sheer scale of them. Okay, it's going to flabbergast you. So you are definitely going to be surprised, even in fair share of cases. You also may feel like, oh, I don't deserve that thing, all right, or I am not ready to kind of like take on that proposition. Yes, you are, right? You do deserve it, and you can handle it, because every single one of these propositions, Jasmine, will contain within it the energy or the opportunity, whichever way you want to say it, to further your agenda. So if it is a business proposition, it will contain within it the means for you to further your business agenda, to further your business goal. All right, love proposition, it will have within it, it will contain within it the means for you to further your love agenda, your love goal to accomplish. So suffice to say here is this is going to be a period of a harmonious relationships for you, a propositions, offerings for harmonious relationships, and very lucrative business deals. You're going to have an amazing ride, Jasmine. If those cards are to be believed, you're going to have an amazing ride. And all of them is because you deserve them. Good night, Pisces Moonbeam. Right, Mattia, your turn. Hello, Erika. Well, I haven't saw a question today from you when the free reading was up and offered. In fact, I don't remember I saw a question from you. Maybe you did ask once or twice, but... You're welcome, Jasmine. Karen, you have been super chatted by Pisces Moonbeam right now. So at the end, you're gonna have your draw. All right, Mattia, first one, it is the Sun. And guess who else is gonna have an amazing transit here? That's gonna be Mattia. Followed by the Hermit. And after that is going to be Two of Wands. So, Mars going direct for you is going to open up the, if you want to call it the chakras or the streams, I would like to call it the sources, okay? The sources of happiness. So literally everything that makes you happy or that has a potential to make you happy is going to flock naturally in your life. People which are making you happy, you know, activities which are making you happy, and it is just should be a happy existence from there on moving forward, especially business wise, because according to those cards, in terms of business, I don't know what kind of actions you made thus far. All right, well, I know we lastly spoke a little bit about it, but I am not super deep into it. However, what those cards are saying here, Mathieu, is that what you have built up by this point in terms of business now is about to start paying off. So I think that you are going to have quite a few monetary gains, to say the least, within the next 2.5 weeks. Needless to say that if you do wish to, You can acquire a bunch of friends as well. Now, the only sad part into those cards is that this isn't going to feel like something unique, right? You're definitely gonna have a better experiences further down the road. You definitely had a bigger and better experiences before, and that's why it's not gonna feel unique. However, nonetheless, it's gonna feel amazing. Okay, so you're gonna have a really, really good experiences within the next 2.5 months. The guidance and the advice of the cards, it is just do whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel happy. Don't feel entitled to sacrifice your happiness for the happiness of someone else. Anna, you're next. Rocky, thank you so much for another 27.99 Canadian. Thank you, Rocky. Stay a little bit. We're gonna have your personalized reading for Mars Direct. Right, Anna, first card for you, 9 of Wands. Then it is the Ace of Swords. And the final one for you, oh my god, that's gonna be the 5 of Wands. First of all, Anna, I don't want to sound rude, but Mercury Direct literally is gonna open up your eyes to see right through the bullshit. Right there through the bullshit. And I don't think, and I don't want to say only, or rather, like, I am not fixing only on other people's bullshit, but also your own. Because according to these cards, there are definitely things you can do better, and you are going to start doing better. But first, you have to recognize, for a lack of better expression, the true diagnosis over the situations which are finding yourself into. Now, once that happens, okay, you say, okay, so I messed up here, or say that person which I allowed to be a part of it, right, messed up here, so therefore it is my freaking fault. What can I do to fix it? And you will figure it out right there on spot. And the action, basically, it's going to be the easy part of all that. Okay, so basically, for you, if right now you are feeling like stuck or things aren't going the right way for you, that is because you have your eyes closed for certain discrepancies, for lack of a better word, which you, by the way, have a finger into it. I mean, they are not without your interference, which is a good thing, right? Because that means you have control, that means you have influence, you can fix them. Because if that someone else is doing, then that means war. Right now, not that much. But bottom line is that once you do start to realign, right, restructure, reshuffle, schedule priorities and whatnot, then you are going to start seeing an opportunities for turnarounds, especially in situations which you thought are beyond the points of no return. You will see that now you can fix that. You can transform them from a failure into actually success. But again, everything goes through you recognizing that maybe I'm not doing this thing right, or it was my fault, or, you know, the person I trusted was not a person that I should have trusted, etc., etc. and recognizing that something has to be done about it, and you will instantly, almost immediately, gonna figure out what needs to be done, or what needs to be done about it. So the hard part for you, Anna, is to recognize that things aren't going great in certain fields in your life. So that is what Mars direct is going to open up for you. And from there, I think that, you know, you are going to make a very, very solid improvement. In fact, now I don't want to, well, I'm going to say it because I started it, okay? But especially if you are right now feeling unhappy, it's very likely to realize that that's the case, for example, because say that, for example, because you're single, or because say, you know, you have difficult troubles at work and these kind of stuff. It's just something fundamental that you and anyone, you know, everybody has something fundamental that they are missing. Not everyone have an absence in their life, and it's very likely that you will find yours, and how to fix it, how to feel it, and from there, you know, your life will feel much more pleasant to experience. That's the core of the reason here for your Mars direct, okay, to make your life much more pleasant and much more assimilating of moving forward. All right, next we do have Danny. Eight of Cups, followed by the Seven of Cups. Yeah, like finishing school, for example, especially if you are kind of like delaying it for, I don't know, the 10th time, and kind of like you're feeling like, oh, like there is something missing for your career to take off. That's definitely the thing. All right, Danny, with those three cards, Mars retrograde is going to open up for you the reason why your plans aren't working, okay, or they're not working to the extent you want them to work. Basically, what those cards here are showing is that Mars going direct is going to open up for you those kind of like aspects of your plans, not just only your plans, but let's say your vision for the future, your stereotypes, even if you wish ideals which just they don't fit with the future. I mean, you do have certain target, right? You do have certain goal that you want to accomplish, but the way you want to get there, outdated. It's not going to work out that way anymore. It's no different than, you know, for example, if you do play a video game and you want to play a new AAA video game, but you want to play it on a 8 years old computer, it just isn't happening. Okay, I mean, yes, you can probably make it to run, but it's gonna run like shit. It's going to be unplayable, and I'm sorry for the example here. So that is what Mars is gonna open up. Mars direct is gonna open up for you the understanding, you know, that certain concepts you have cannot be applied anymore. They could have back in the days, but not anymore. And you're not going to feel good about it, at least not at the start. But then when you think about it very carefully, you understand that, you know, changing concepts, actually, it's not a bad thing. It's not that bad. In fact, with now that you do have the luxury to change your concepts, you can get for, you can strive, you can aim for even better future than the one you have anticipated before. Because with this elemental dignity, I love this one, by the way, okay? I love this one. That is one of the best you can have, especially if you don't have anything to look forward to. Because what those cards are showing is that the future could hold literally anything. Usually tarot, when they tell you, you know, that the future holds anything, they are confined within the framework of your civilization. So anything that you are capable of. Now these two, though, they go beyond your current capabilities. So for the future, everything is possible. But in order to get there, once again, you gotta align with the future. And it will be a process of, how can I put it into words? Reshaping, transforming yourself, that Mars direct is gonna open up for you. Being more aligned with the environment, being more adaptable, more agile, more fitting, for a lack of a better word. All right, Rocky, let's see how your Mars direct is going to be. Oh, that's great, Anna. Did I? So that should be a huge job in a sense of importance. I mean, it may not be a huge job in a sense of, you know, influence, but in a sense of importance. If it is the very same time frame, then the cards are definitely speaking about the same job. And that would mean for you, Rocky, that this job is gonna pave something. It's gonna pave a way. You know, it could be a job that you're gonna get there, let's say, for a month or two, but you may meet someone at that job which will give you reference for a job that actually is gonna be a job, right? So it's gonna be an important job, although may not have that big of an impact in your life, or rather like as a job. And Rocky, don't ask again, okay? Because that goes like that. When tarot answer you once, for them the matter is closed, literally. And when you ask again, for tarot it is like you did not understood the answer first time, so they're trying to answer you in a different way, but they answered you the best way they could first time you asked. So the second time they answer you with some kind of a, you know, peripheral points of view. And that's why, you know, when you do inquire the same question over and over again, you get more confused rather than clarifying it better. You know, you are answered what you are supposed to know. You're not supposed to know everything, let alone you are not supposed to understand anything. That is because otherwise you will have a power over fortune, and you can change it, and you're not supposed to. Nobody's supposed to change their fate, if fate is written, right? Good night, Karen. Oh, you're not gonna stay a little longer to check on your reading? It's coming in a couple of minutes, Karen. All right, Rocky. The Empress. Afterwards, we do have Temperance. The final one is gonna be the Three of Wands. All right, Rocky. This is gonna be a bizarre experience, to say the least. Hello, Sam. Welcome to the stream, mate. Bizarre experience, that is because you are gonna be, or rather like feel very comfortable, scary comfortable, serene almost, right? Like serene, like being a sheep with a serene impression, or rather like with serene behavior in a pack of wolves. What those cards here are saying is that The situations which are going to be around you will demand a little bit more sense of emergency, okay? A little bit more attention, a little bit more cradling, for lack of better words. But for one or another reason, you are going to get away with less than that. And that's why it's going to feel bizarre for you, okay? Because simply, how can I put it into words? Let's put it that way, Rocky. You're not going to freak out about one thing or another the way you did that before, or the way you were freaking out before. And it's just, you know, your belief into the better future is gonna bolster within the next couple of months, and your decision making is going to be, rather than making things work, are going to be more focused about what works for you. And thus, it seems that you are going to make some very well-found, balanced decisions about your distant rather than near future. So it will be more focused about the distant future rather than the near one, and seeing that, you know, the situations which require emergency actions, they don't relate to the distant future at all. So why should you bother? That will be your standpoint. Now, of course, you can change that. Just so you know, that's it's very likely within the next 2.5 months to kind of like figure out how you want to play out in the distant future, what you want to be, for example, what kind of a family you want, and a solid plan being made in that direction. And probably, hopefully, you know, in the near future, you're going to start making actions into that direction. All right, Karen, next. Sam, thank you so much for your 20 Australian dollars. Thank you, Sam. The inquiry: will this love interest that you said in a positive reading, in a previous reading, that I would meet, all right, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that, Sam. Thank you for your 20 Australian. So you're basically inquiring, is that the soulmate you're waiting for? It's a very specific combination for that the cards are gonna show. So it's a simple answer. But, you know, because you are generous, I'm going to put more information into there, because I'm going to do the elemental dignity, and they're going to pretty much show what, regardless if it is your soulmate or not, what kind of intention that girl has. Anyway, Karen, your Pisces Moonbeam reading, Mars direct is gonna open up for you, Karen. Stability. I just don't know what else to tell you with this card. Four of Pentacles, it is the when it is confined within a period, that is the period where you do ensure your well-being and the certainty of your future. So basically, a Mars direct is going to open up for you the certainty of your future, how to make your future certain and secure and safe above everything else. All right, so Sam, let's check on this girl now. No, Sam. Now, according to these cards, mate, Those are the 3 cards. Now this one has the potential to fuck up your life. Truly a potential to ruining your life. And the way you're writing about it, she had already started. Okay? So if I were you, I would have stayed as far the fuck away I could. Okay? That is according to these cards. That's listen, for her, this is how it stands. Me again, me, him, but only if he is contributing to me, and then me again. Me is the only thing that she cares about. And you know, if she can milk you for all you got, that would be best. And there is a crush there, so you just have to gnash your teeth. That's a crush, right? The cards are not showing love at all. That's a passion, excessive amounts of passion. People usually mistake passion for love. These things doesn't go well together. Passion is under the sign of fire, right? Under the elements of fire. Love is under the elements of water. And we all know that you can't mix water and fire. Just one kills the other. Whether the water extinguishing the fire or the fire vaporizes the water, whichever way you want to call it, they don't work well. And what we have here for you, Sam, that's passion. Has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with soulmates. And if I were you in having those cards, mate, I would have stayed the hell away from this one. It has the potential again to ruin your life, emotional if not anything else, big time. So with that said, guys, this is gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for attending, and as well, thank you so much for your generosity. It's amazing, it's unbelievable, and we're gonna see each other next time. Till then, bye.